Hi, everyone. I'm just getting a few other devices going so that we can get started, and we're going live on as many channels as possible. We'll put the recording up later for those that weren't able to join live. Okay, hi everyone. So for anyone that is checking in on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook, please remember that those who are joining the Zoom Live link will get a special coupon, a discount code um, at the very end of the Zoom. And hang on here. And that will be available just for the folks that are joining the live Zoom. Okay, let's see here. Just about to get going. So welcome to those coming in. Okay, so yeah, quick reminder, we had a few others just join right in the midst of that. For those that are joining the Zoom Live, you'll get a coupon code at the very end. And I'm going to briefly go over some questions that you all have been sending in throughout the week. And also some questions that have come up via email, and also taking any live questions that you might want to send in throughout our time together. So first of all, hi, Avani or Avni, and I'm so excited to let everybody know a little bit more about this reconfiguration of what used to be the Caribe Yoga Academy. And it has now transitioned into a collective, which is a really beautiful new format, allowing us to bring in many more teachers, many more experts in their fields, and just offer the public, as we say, many more voices and many more choices. So we've expanded our offerings. We have a 200-hour, a 300-hour, up to a 1,000-hour yoga teacher training program. We also have tons and tons and tons of continuing education credit options for you. So you can really join us and study something that is your niche, your special niche. And I want to start today by talking about the format. That's the biggest question that we have. A lot of folks are wondering if we are online only. And the answer to that is yes and no. It depends on the program. So most of our programs that serve as continuing education credits for those that are already teaching yoga or in the wellness field, Ayurvedic practitioners, those who work in the mental health field, are going to be online only. So that will really increase the accessibility, both as far as travel and expenses to join. However, the 200-hour course and the 300-hour course, so the foundational and advanced yoga teacher training, are what is called a hybrid format. So what that means is that the majority of our hours will be done online. And one of the big challenges with taking on a yoga teacher training is that often they are cost inhibitive because there's a lot of travel involved, and that can get very, very costly. And not everyone can take a month off from work. So in order to amend that, we have developed this hybrid format. And for those that are taking this course to simply deepen their study of the yoga practice, just for the love and the passion of the yoga practice, you can join only the online portion. You get a certification of completion. You have hopefully learned a lot of stuff about the history of yoga, the language, and mythology and postures and ethics and all kinds of awesome things online. And you can carry on your way and continue with your studentship. For those who want to gain Yoga Alliance certification, you will be able to choose a location for a 10 night immersion. So our previous trainings were 28 and 32 nights. As I had mentioned, obviously quite inhibitive for people that can't get that time off from work, and not to mention the expenses that go into all of that. So we're currently setting up our locations. I'm very excited to say that we are well on our way to confirming dates for Greece and India in late 2025 and early 2026. As soon as we have those details concrete, they'll be live on our site. And what's really exciting with the hybrid portion is that both 200-hour students and 300-hour students will be able to join the same immersion. And within that trip, there'll be kind of different paths. So the foundational students will participate in some events. The 300-hour students will participate in some events that are separate and different. And then all students will be able to participate in some events together. So it's a really nice way to also expand and have a little bit more of a scaffolding experience where you are going to be working with students that are your peers that are also learning. You'll also be working with people who are already teaching and already in the field. And it's a great way that we can all be learning from each other. So, before we move on to any other, what I have laid out for the Q&A session today, I just want to check in and see if there's any questions. You can type it in. Folks that are on the Zoom can unmute yourselves if you'd like. Yeah, let me know if there's any questions. That's been the major one, is about the hybrid format and what's that going to mean. No questions. Okay. Great. Hi. Thanks everyone that's signing on. I see you. Okay. Um, the folks that are on Instagram, I keep looking back and forth between the two, but hi, I acknowledge that you're there. I'm so glad you're able to join. Okay, so that's a little bit about the format. And I did touch on the certification process a little bit before, but I want to just reiterate that because that's a really burning question for most people that sign on for a yoga teacher training. So if you are taking either the foundational level or the advanced level 300-hour, meaning you already have a foundational level certificate, um, if you are seeking registration with the entity that is the Yoga Alliance, you will need to participate in that immersion portion for those contact hours. Essentially, during that immersion, we are going to be able to do a lot more experiential things, particularly during the immersion, for example, in India. We also have an immersion in Nepal on the books, hopefully very soon. So it will be a lot of experiential work and things like the hands-on component and the practicum. So you will have to participate in that. Those that do not require the Yoga Alliance certification because you just want to take the course for your own study, you do not need to travel or join the immersion. You can participate, you can expand your studentship, and be a beautiful part of that training process with all of us together. There's a lot more on how to register with Yoga Alliance and how that works once you're actually in the training. But for today, I don't think we need to touch too much more on that. For the 1,000-hour program, which is our new path, that is made up of a combination of our many courses offered. So outside of the 200-hour and the 300-hour, everything will be online at this point in time. And you will receive certification from a YASEP, either myself or another person that is guiding that continuing education course. We've got tons and tons available if you haven't checked it out yet, in Ayurveda, pranayama, meditation, Kundalini, all kinds of choices, and hopefully expanding really soon. So you will get those hours on a course by course basis and either register them as continuing education credits or sort of bank them until you have accumulated. If you are already a 500-hour RYT, you'll need to accumulate 500 more hours. Or if you're a 200-hour RYT, you'll need to accumulate 800 more hours to be a Colmena Collective 1,000-hour yoga teacher. So that's how the certification for that path will work. We came to this new configuration and collective for many reasons. But one of the biggest ones was to increase and encourage even greater accessibility to these practices. Really, everybody that is interested in living a yogic lifestyle and incorporating Ayurvedic practices, for example, really ideally should have access to these healing and to these preventative health modalities. And so we're really, really happy about uh, the online component of it being much more financially accessible for a lot of people. We do have scholarships. That's another big question that came in. Scholarships are available on all programs, but we also do a lot of coupons and flash sales and all of this stuff. So there's always opportunities to save. Just keep your eyes open. Right now, we have a huge discount going on for just a few more days until November 2nd. That is our opening launch rate for the 200-hour program. And I'm going to share another coupon for a further discount just for the Zoom Live participants. So you can even combine those, and we'd love to have you join. So the next question that came in a lot was, where are we going to go? Where are we going? And as I already mentioned, we are just finalizing a few last details for our India immersion. That will be the first one kind of on the books. Um, the second one that is in the works is Greece, although the dates for that one will actually probably more likely be earlier. So probably fall 2025 for Greece, winter 2026 for India. Those will be the earliest immersion options. We have other things in the works. I had mentioned as well Nepal, but those were a lot earlier on the path for organizing those dates. So we'll definitely, with full excitement, be um, letting you know full details once we have those finalized. Just going to read a quick question here. Okay, so we have a question which is the foundational training and immersion for beginner yoga teachers with no prior experience? So Jen, you can correct me if I'm wrong in my interpretation of this. If so, so for someone who's currently already teaching yoga, if they're not certified, if that's what you mean by beginner yoga teachers, then yes, for sure, it will help solidify those skills. We do, of course, a lot of teaching methodology. If you mean for a beginning yoga student, like meaning someone who has very little experience with yoga, um, possibly. I would say the answer is possibly. I like to speak to those students before encouraging them to take on a teacher training because the depth of study is very, very deep. Sorry, go ahead, Jen.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so it's more for so I know plenty about yoga as a student, but not as a teacher at this point. So it'd be like my first exposure to teaching yoga or any type of training to become a teacher. So that's what I was wondering if that's the right fit of the foundational.
Gotcha. Okay. Yes. Thank you for that clarification. The foundational one would definitely, that is your first step. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Some students like to take introductory workshops or things like that before, but in your case specifically, as you mentioned, you have quite a bit of experience as a student. So what that means is that whether you know it or not, you actually already have a lot of the foundational information, and the teacher training will just help you organize it. It's going to,
Okay.
when you hear this term in your yoga class, for example, when the teacher says, pull your belly button towards your spine, this is what they're talking about. And it's called a bandha. And this is what a bandha is. And this is why we use it. And this is where it comes from. So you already have a lot of the information, and the teacher training helps create an organizational system for you to understand that, and then gives you teaching methodology to help support you in how to offer that information, to give that information forward to other students in a way that makes sense. So yes,
Got it. Okay.
yeah,
Great. Thank you.
yeah, you're very welcome. Yeah, so if you have a lot of experience as a student, but you don't have any prior certification, the foundational level is definitely the one for you. It's kind of like step one on my yoga teacher training journey. And that is the first one required according to Yoga Alliance for those that want to align with that organization and entity as well. Um, and for those that don't have a lot of experience or as much experience as a student of yoga, because this happens a lot, sometimes people start their practice and they're like, holy moly, this is so transformative and I just want to know all the things and I really want to dive in. Um, it's possible, it is possible to take on a training. I might just say, get in touch with me personally one-on-one, like let's talk about it a little bit. Because it's really important that students don't feel like they have just bitten off way more than they can chew. We're certainly not trying to turn people off from yoga for the rest of their lives. So it is very helpful to have a nice foundation and steady, solid yoga practice before you jump into a training. And that could be home practice as well. So, okay, thanks for that question. Yeah, happy to take any other questions via chat or unmute, or on the Instagram Live. You can type in. So, the school history and the an intro to faculty, I wanted to give a little. This was another common question is like, well, who's going to be there? And especially for past graduates that are maybe considering the advanced level training, but now it's not Kariba Yoga Academy anymore. It's this new flavor. So there's been a curiosity about that. Um, so our faculty for the foundational level program is the same. So if you were looking into our training and were like, but I really wanted to study with those guides and those teachers, you will. It's the same faculty. We're just moving it online for many of the hours. Um, Same for the advanced level. The advanced level is really the same team. It's the same group. Um, Made up of both high-level yoga teachers as well as Ayurvedic practitioners, since our advanced level program is an Ayurvedic yoga teacher training. Um, and so I really recommend for those with a deep interest in Ayurveda, the India location is going to be amazing because we're actually going to do our immersion at a Panchakarma center. So you'll get all the yummy Ayurvedic treats and information. Um, so the Caribe Yoga Academy was based in one location, which, as many of you know, was in Puerto Viejo in Costa Rica on the South Caribbean, and doing live trainings for 12 years or so. We had so much fun. We made so many incredible connections across the whole globe, and really, really loved that part of the evolution of our training. Um, However, we are no longer physically located there for a variety of reasons. The space didn't fit any longer for our kind of intentions and purposes moving forward. We also wanted to create wider accessibility to the practices. So, although we're a new flavor as La Colmena Collective, it's a lot of the same faces that you will see. It is certainly the same ethos, the same mission. As far as offering, honoring the roots of the practice, incorporating the Ayurvedic lens of understanding. We are bringing in trauma-informed language and understanding, and the functional movement and anatomy. So all of those same pillars exist under this new name. What's really exciting about the faculty is that it has expanded in a huge way. So we are bringing in a lot more experts, even though some of the faces might be familiar because you may have seen them as assistants or guest teachers on past trainings. And now they're going to come and have their own units that they're going to share. So Satya and his partner Nav Kiran, for example, are going to be teaching an entire intro to Kundalini. People doing the foundational training loved their class so much they were asking for more. So we're going to do an intro to Kundalini for those that want to incorporate that. Um, Dr. Sundar, who came to visit us in Puerto Viejo and did a huge series on pranayama. He's like the scientist, the doctor of breathwork of pranayama. He's going to be joining us for both an intro to pranayama and also a full certification. Um, as a pranayam teacher. Victor will be back for lots of meditation goodies. Jess, who has assisted with us a lot, is going to support me on a business for yoga and wellness practitioners course, something else that many of the past students asked for more of. How can I, kind of get out there and let people know about what I'm offering. And of course, Adriana and Amala are going to be with us every step of the way on foundational, advanced, and in some specialized niche courses. So, really looking forward to having all the previous faculty back and some new faces as well. Um, the only other thing, well, I just want to pause for any other questions regarding the yoga teacher training, the hybrid format online. Hi, 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 hi. Any other questions?
Hi, yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead, Jasmine.
Okay, great. Thanks so much for hosting this session. So I actually had a clarifying question about the immersion portion of the training.
Sure.
Um, so it sounds like you're still in the process of firming up the details, but each location that immersion will take place sounds like sometime after the online training, because the online training runs from January to June, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so I guess my my question is then how soon will participants in the online training find out about the dates? Because it sounds like it would require a little bit of planning on our end.
Yes, yeah. So of course, and this was one of the things that we did find inhibitive with the immersion only format is that of course people need a lot of time to plan. So the earliest immersion dates we're looking at are fall 2025. And so India, for example, is probably going to be early winter 2026. Um,
Right.
you will have for both foundational and for advanced level training, you will have 3 years. If you want to do Yoga Alliance certification, you will have 3 years to join an immersion. So, for example,
Okay.
if you were like, I really had my heart set on going to Nepal, and those
Mhm.
dates aren't on the calendar yet, you could theoretically wait. You could practice teaching. You would have a certification. You're not Yoga Alliance certified, but
Mhm.
you've learned a lot of methodology. Um, and you could just wait until the Nepal dates are posted. But most dates will be posted a year out. So you'll have plenty.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, you'll have plenty of time. And in case anyone missed it or has popped in and out or missed the earlier part, both 200-hour and 300-hour students will be permitted to join the same immersion, which is kind of a cool thing too. So what that means is you don't have to wait if you're an advanced level student, you don't have to wait until the one specifically for you pops up. Any immersion we have posted is open to 200 or 300-hour students. Yeah. Is that helpful? Is that clarifying?
That's super helpful. Thank you. And just a follow-up question on one of the points you mentioned. You said that anyone who goes through the 200-hour training, obviously you'll receive the certification for completing that part of the training online. But then you said the Lo Yoga Alliance gives you up to 3 years to complete the immersion portion for the certificate.
Yeah, so La Colmena
Oh,
Collective gives you 3 years to finish. Basically,
gotcha. Okay.
I have to sign off in order for you to have a Yoga Alliance mark on your certificate. I
Right.
have to sign off that you have met their standards, their set of standards. And some of those standards are what will be happening during the live immersions. And so you will have for the online only portion, and this is why I said that's perfect for people because this happens to a lot of people. They don't really plan to teach. They just love yoga and they want to learn more. And so if that is you, anyone that's on today listening, you can do only the online portion. You will have a certificate of completion. that you have taken a yoga teacher trainer course, but that certificate of completion will not be Yoga Alliance certified.
Right, right. Yes, of course. Yeah.
And then so you have 3 years to complete that Yoga Alliance immersion for La Colmena to sign off and say, yes, you have met the Yoga Alliance standards, and you can now
Okay.
register with Yoga Alliance.
Got it. Okay. Thank you so much for clarifying that.
You're welcome. Okay, got another question coming in here. Um, yes, okay, schedule. Great question. So I got another question coming in about the schedule for um, the online classes. So this statement is true for the 200-hour and the 300-hour, which the 300-hour dates will be posted probably this week. So I know a lot of you are waiting to see that, and that will be up hopefully this week. The schedule will look like for the foundational level, one weekend and one immersion weekend a month. So what that looks like is typically a workshop on a Friday afternoon. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm expanding my chat here by accident. Um, a Friday afternoon workshop and about a 10-hour day on Saturday and on Sunday, and you'll have meal breaks. So that is very similar to, it's actually a little bit shorter, but very similar to what the day-to-day schedule used to be for our full-length immersions. So we'll begin with practice at 6 in the morning and we'll finish around 6 p.m. And there'll be breaks for lunch and a few 15-minute kind of move breaks, and we'll have practice each morning. In addition to that, in order to maintain the connection between the group, the Sangha, we will meet once a week. And that will be for a 2-hour or a 90-minute or a 2-hour workshop. It depends on the curriculum for that week. It depends on the course. Some courses will meet on Monday evenings, some might meet on Wednesday mornings. One of the cool benefits of doing it in this format is that recordings will exist. So if for whatever reason you're not able to make it one Wednesday, because meeting once a week every single week can be a lot for an almost a 6-month period, you can always catch the recording later on. They'll usually be posted within 48 hours. So one immersion weekend per month and one workshop per week for 90 minutes to 2 hours. And then for those seeking Yoga Alliance certification, it will be a 10-day immersion as well. Is that clarifying?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, and then once folks are enrolled, the exact schedule with the dates will go out. There are dates listed on the enrollment page, like on the ticketing page when you go to sign up. But you'll get a finalized list of that probably like 1 month before we sign on, because sometimes there's conflicts and changes either with students or faculty. So we'll do our very best to stick with what's listed there, but you will know well in advance if there's changes. Okay, so let's see. Oh, we got one other question here, which is how much is the 300-hour training? So the 300-hour training, we don't have the ticketed event live yet. We're still finalizing dates. As I had mentioned, it will be hopefully by this week. We'll have it listed. But we will keep it around the same range. It will be slightly more expensive than the 200-hour because it's 100 whole extra hours. But we will try to keep it within that range, meaning somewhere from $1,000 to $1,500 for the online portion. That way, with the online portion and the immersion that's required for those who are seeking Yoga Alliance certification, we are doing everything we can to keep the total cost of the course, including the immersion component, under $4,000, meaning we're trying to choose locations and centers and services that are included for your immersion that will be $2,000 or less, ideally less. And then the online portion, depending on which tier, because we have a community supported rate for all courses, a regular rate, which is the value of the course for those that can pay, And then we have a community supporter rate, which is like for those that have a little extra and want to help support essentially a scholarship student, then you have that rate as well. Um, and then I'm getting some questions in about the immersion component locations. I'm going to post the live video. We've already talked a lot about the locations, so this full recording will be available on our YouTube and anywhere else we're allowed to post it, depending on its length. And as soon as they're in concrete, we'll post them up on the website, which will be very, very soon. Okay. So any other last questions regarding the teacher training component before I quickly go over the memberships that are opening really soon? Hi, hi, hi to everyone giving us a wave. Thanks for joining. Okay, so super quickly, I want to talk about the memberships because those are also opening through La Colmena, actually this Friday, November 1st. And it's a great way, especially if you have never taken a live or online course with me. I'll also have some guest teachers popping on from time to time. It's a great way to kind of test it out in a very low commitment way before you take the plunge and sign on for a full yoga teacher training. So those will be open for enrollment starting Friday, and we have 6 different levels of membership. And the lowest, kind of most non-committal is the Dabble one, which is only $12 a month. And you get access to the full library of both Vinyasa and Yin or restorative or Nidra, like slow flow style classes. So we have different libraries depending on the style of class. And you just get access to the library. And if they're all pre-recorded, you can take as few or all of the classes. You can sign in as often as you want and use the classes, and you're good to go. The Grow membership is $15 a month. All of these are also, it's good to know that these are starting rates. So these rates will go up in January. So if you're interested in the membership at all and you want to lock in these really, really low prices, it's good to join sooner than later because you will be locked in at that rate, which is really, really great. So the Grow membership will be $15 a month, and you will be able to have access to 2 live vinyasas per month. So you'll be able to join via Zoom with a whole group of other people that are taking that class. They'll often be with me, but we will also have guest teachers from La Colmena Collective teaching classes as well. The Dive In membership is $25 a month. That one will have access to the full library plus 2 Yin classes per month, the same 2 Vinyasa classes that the previous membership gets, and 1 meditation per month. All of those are live, plus you will have access to all of the recorded material in the library. There's an Immerse membership, which is $39 a month. Those will include the full library, all meditations, all vinyasa classes, all yin, slow flow, restorative classes, and a full library of pre-recorded workshops. And then this one for live material includes 2 vinyasas, 2 yins, a meditation, and 1 live workshop per month, which that's really exciting for especially for those that are already teaching. If you're just kind of feeling like you need something new to inspire or a little bit of review. There's already some workshops up there in the library as well, but we'll be coming out with new exciting material every month with a whole variety of teachers. The next 2 memberships are really for folks that are already working in the field and are looking for a little bit of a mentorship. And right now we are doing our pilot program, and we already have a few participants signed on and reserved. These 2 are very limited, but the share membership is for folks who are teaching, perhaps new in the field, perhaps established, but you want a little bit more mentorship with an experienced teacher. So this one includes all of the great stuff I've already talked about with the other memberships, all the classes, all the meditations, all the workshops, access to the full library. Plus, it includes 1 group call for those that are in the share membership per month, and it includes 1 one-on-one call with me per month. And so we can use that time to address whatever you feel like going into. So sometimes with mentorship, it's more like, hey, this challenging thing has come up with me, with a student, and have you ever had this experience? It could be like that. For some, it might be more business explorations. So it's really your time, and we can use it the way that you would like to use it. The last membership tier we have is the build membership. And this is really for people who are, they're out there, they're working in the field, and they really want to expand or power up, or level up, I should say, in their business offerings. So this one is very specifically business focused. We will work through things like, you know, clarifying vision and mission statements, looking through who's your avatar. It's going to depend on where each participant is at in their current business. It could even include things like working with branding. It depends where you are. And that one also includes all of the previous, like all the full libraries, all the meditations, all the workshops, all the classes, um, and all the live courses as well, not just the library. This last tier, which is 148 per month, is a 6 month course. So it requires a 6 months of commitment because we really want to be able to see results. Um, you get two one-on-one calls per month and one group call per month as well, included in this membership. So this is really it from me today. Thank you all for your time. I tried to keep it as kind of concise as possible, but we're at almost the 40-minute mark. So if there's any last question, I'm going to, of course, post the full length of the call for those that want to rewatch and you want more information. Maybe you came late and you missed some information. I'm going to type the special coupon code in the chat for those on the live Zoom, so don't worry, I didn't forget about that. And you can apply that additional discount to any current running discount. So it's a good time to perhaps sign on. The introductory rate, just as a reminder, ends on November 1st. We have a really, really incredible discount, like launch celebration rate going on right now for the 200-hour program, but it ends on November 1st. So if you're thinking about it and you're on the fence, this is the best price you're going to get. And then the discount code that I'm sharing to those on the live Zoom call, you have until November 12th to use that code. So let me see. I'm going to type that in there right now. Oops. Okay. Oops. Okay. Let's see. I just got, so a few of you are hopping in on the call right now to get the code. Here we go. I'm going to share it again. There you go. And so that coupon is valid until November 12th. Okay. Any final question from anyone who has joined? I'm happy to answer. I'm so excited about this new format and to be able to bring you all a wider variety of voices. Hello. Oops, hang on here. You're very welcome. Okay, any other last question? Well, thank you all so much for joining, and I hope to see some of your faces in the upcoming year in one or maybe several of the La Colmena Collective offerings. And don't be shy to email me. The email is hi, at lacolmenacollective.com. And check out the new website if you haven't already. Enjoy those discount codes while they last. And I hope to see you all in the upcoming year. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.